Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends all over the world. Welcome to today's podcast. Today we have someone truly inspiring with us, Shashi Mudgal. Shashi is passionate about making real, lasting change in the world. With years of experience in research, innovation, and social impact, she focuses on creating solutions that not only help people but also protect the environment. One of the most exciting things about Shashi's work is how she turns waste into an opportunity through recycling and upcycling technologies. She has also contributed in building circular economies. That is, again, as I said, reducing waste, creating jobs, and supporting marginalized communities. At the heart of it all, Shashi believes in the power of collaboration and community. She brings people together to design solutions that are scalable, sustainable, and inclusive. From urban eco projects to social development projects, Shashi's goal is to build a future that works for everyone. I can't wait to dive into this wonderful conversation. Hi, Shashi. Welcome to Virtual Global Leadership Podcast. How are you?
A difficult question to answer, but I'll still do it. Rhetorical question. I'm doing very fine, Sagar. Thank you very much. That's the most fantastic introduction I've ever got. So I appreciate your
Yeah.
rendition. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank
having me
you,
here.
Shashi. Yes, yes. So I'm just little curious to know, although I did introduce you, but then feel free to take 1 minute or so and just share if something more needs to be shared with the viewers.
Yeah, thank you for that liberty. I am 44 years old, married for 18 years, have a son who's 7 years old, and I hail from Karnataka, Mangalore. My basic education is literature, psychology, gender studies, and I have a postgraduate diploma in leadership and technology. And I have been teaching in TIS for about working in TIS for about 12, 14 years now. About okay, before that, I have a freelancing experience in training MBA students. That's how I started my career. So I have eventually, in a very free manner, shifted from one subject to another. So I would like to identify myself as a person who has shifted from gender studies to psychology to literature to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And by principle, I'm a feminist, but
Uh-huh.
I also function in social impact spaces. And yeah, there you are. I mean, life has been very kind to me. I moved from one place to another and learned every aspect, every element of it, and I'm happy wherever I am. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I've known you for many years, so I understand what it takes to wear, several hats and, transit from one role to another. And I think uh, only someone who is intentional and entrepreneurial in their nature, I think then that's how it is possible because this journey is not easy, and it takes a lot of resilience to be on this path. So kudos to that effort of yours. And that moves me to a question that I was thinking to start this conversation with, is that again, I mean, when we wear different hats, we have to uh, you know we also have to go with the flow of the different nature of work, or rather, we have to go with the flow, I would say that way. So from your perspective, since work is changing, so what is the biggest shift that you have seen in how people work, and where do you think we are headed?
Yeah, if I have to look at it from my vantage point, because I like to bring some elements of this person that I have become as a social researcher, somebody coming from social sciences background. Okay, so socio-anthropologically, that's one vantage point. That work, as defined, has many intersections to it. We are workers that enter workspaces with all our all our intersections, like who we are in gender, who we are in a caste, class, who we are as persons. And we enter in that location as individual, we enter into collective spaces. So I'd like to tell that just now the future of work is got to do with technology that's coming into, okay,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
AI, the data collection material, and post COVID, the element of remote working. And I have to understand that all of this, the effect of all of this on social innovation, because I
Yeah.
am a social scientist, I understand the importance of all of this. So, future of work looks very bright for me because just now the world has turned into a single space, a table where we can bring all of it together. Our personhood, our technology, our data analysis, and yes, the sociology of it. Because we missed warm bodies, we missed people around COVID. So now
Yeah.
we understand the importance of social connections and community. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I think we are heading. We're heading good place.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing in that perspective, Shashi. Or also, as the workplace is evolving, there is a lot that has happened over the years, and and in the last 100 odd years, our world is has become more commercial, and economics is at the forefront. Although a lot of things are happening, are parallelly coexisting, but then economics has been the central objective of all the governments across borders. But at the same time, I'm little curious to know, what is regenerative economics, and how it is shaping companies and individuals approach to their work in coming years.
Yeah, so the very word is so describing, I'll tell you, regenerative economics. So the word, the etymology of the word economy, economics is coming from the domestic place, okay? How you plan your family,
Yeah.
your expenses, your income and expenses. The word economy comes from there. So
Yeah.
regenerative meaning that how we are doing in wherever place, whatever place we are located in, whether it's an enterprise or a corporate space or an
Mhm.
institutional place like a university. So regenerative economics is got to do with something that will help you execute the plan that we already made. So in a
Mhm.
way that if I can give you an example, bringing circular economy that I work with regenerative economics. Circular economy is talking about all the ways and methods of bringing every resource that is used in a circle back to the economy. Regenerative
Mhm.
economics helps you to make it sustainable. That
Okay.
means whatever money, time, resources you've invested in should come back to whatever economy you're placed in it. So
Yeah.
that's where it is. And circular economy works in four different spaces. One is
Okay.
narrowing the loop, finding where the waste is created, then
Yeah.
intensifying the loop, then maximizing it, and closing the loop. What
Okay.
regenerative economics does is it brings three different things together: planet, people, profit.
Okay.
We call
Okay.
it triple bottom line. So any and every business that can bring these three elements together is regenerative economics.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And I think, the kind of world that we are moving into, uh, I personally feel that all the businesses must be responsible, I would say responsible is the beginning. I think it's more than a beginning. I would say it has to be intentional. But given the fact that we live in a again a real society where everything has to go hand in hand. So what is your analysis or understanding of this area of work where businesses in the future, or rather I would say, what do you think that businesses of the future will have a greater responsibility to focus on social impact beyond just making profits? And if yes or no, I don't know, you have to share that, how that will affect the workplace.
Yeah, so the social responsibility of business. Somehow, in the etymology of the word business or
Mm-hmm.
social, it has
Mm-hmm.
got to do like social and profit and business are
Mm-hmm.
diagrammically opposite. They
Yeah.
aren't.
Yeah.
It is very beautifully, organically now being redefined because you do business with the resources that you have, and society and the environment are bare fundamental of how you form the business. So
Mm-hmm.
the element of how climate change, sustainability, and all of it came to a policy initiative was, I think it happened in about start of 1950s and 60s,
Mm-hmm.
but post the policy initiative in India especially, when every business initiative was asked to give 2% of their business profit
Correct.
as
Correct.
CSR towards
Correct.
social business, towards society. Okay,
Correct.
that was an affirmative policy action that government took, but we have moved far ahead. That was a first call. So basically, one needs to recognize that there's a lot of elements of societal, contribution that comes into your business. Let's
Correct.
call it environment. Let's call it people whom you're employing. Let's call it the resources, the institutional stakeholders, and the others. All of these are part and parcel of how the business runs. So,
Correct.
so, so the societal, when you say social responsibility of the business, meaning whatever you produce as a product or service, you are
Correct.
responsible to the environment, to the planet, to people, and to the customers.
So true.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
uh
yeah,
yeah,
another
that's good.
policy initiative, sorry, was EPR,
Uh-huh.
extended producer responsibility. Okay,
Okay.
this is
Yeah.
another policy initiative by Government of India, which has established Center for Pollution, and this entire system, that this board, this controls the entire system how it functions.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it means that any industry that makes business or produces profit of a particular space is responsible for all the pollution or the
Mm-hmm.
consequence to environment, people, and the community, and they are supposed to answer to that. So we have to call out this, and India is doing well. I must tell you, our community is doing well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Also, Shashi, when I was doing your research, I
Yeah.
learned that you have worked in a lot of social impact research projects for over the years. So how do you see this domain evolving with the future of work, and what role will innovation play?
Yeah, so let me give you an example about this project I was running in Tata Institute under the School of Social Development Studies, Social Studies, basically social sciences, that we were working on domestic workers and their citizenship and their environment and their social security. Okay, so somehow the outcome around it, because every outcome comes with the objective how you start. So how do you measure this? The objective of a project, the activities you do, the outputs you produce, and the outcome. The outcome was that we could kind of enable at least about 100 women domestic workers who were able to understand their citizenship rights, their domestic violence rights, their social security rights. Therefore, they are make they are these are the women who actually promoted themselves from waste pickers to domestic workers to actually they promoted themselves because of their training to be called as cooks and caretakers. That means people have been moving. So anybody and everybody who's been working in this sector, they are called green jobs.
Okay.
So we need to recognize this element that anybody and everybody who's contributing to these intersections are green warriors, are and all enterprises who work around this and bring them together as stakeholders are eco-inclusive
Uh-huh.
enterprises. So this
Yeah.
is from my personal experience.
Yeah, yeah. So could you elaborate more on ecopreneurship? Uh, and how do you think this particular mindset of being an ecopreneur will
Hmm.
influence the future of work and how companies can operate? And by the way, and how would I would go to an extent and ask how then this can be turned into a profitable business if you would wish to answer that.
Yeah, difficult question, but I'll make an attempt. So basically, like I told you about PPP model, planet, profit, people.
Yes.
Okay, eco-inclusive. I work with certain entrepreneurs. I call them eco champions. I
Yeah.
call them ecopreneurs because they work for ecology. And okay, let's delve back to the etymology of the word ecopreneur or entrepreneur per se. Okay,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs is a it comes from a French word that says entreprendre, meaning somebody who's taking up something,
Yeah.
somebody who's taking that risk to do something.
Correct.
Okay, so an entrepreneur is somebody who, as a word, is taking that risk and is a speculator. That means somebody has that intelligence to see how much risk I can take, how much is available there. So all ecopreneurs are people who are working for the ecology. Now, ecology may, if you have to put them in pointers, it could be water, land, landscape, waste. Waste itself is not homogeneous by definition. Waste
Okay.
is dry, wet, plastic, metal, e-waste, so many things. So basically, ecopreneurs are people who are trying to bring all stakeholders together, create green jobs, and bring technology and most importantly, community together
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
work in a way that moves for a theory of change. When I say
Mm-hmm.
theory of change, it is a way of measuring the outcome. Meaning, if, from my own experience, if a domestic worker who
Mm-hmm.
started with not knowing anything, and if I could get her a zero balance bank account, make her
Mm-hmm.
understand about her social security rights, teach her
Mm-hmm.
about domestic violence, help her with all the government rules and regulations that she be protected of. That is
Mm-hmm.
a shift from theory from A to B. That's the theory of change. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, ecopreneurs are those who are working in these categories and making that change happen in a way that can be measured. And that's where the beauty of technology comes in.
Interesting. Interesting. Thank you for giving a very detailed, pointed perspective. I
Yeah.
think it will definitely help viewers who are in this direction. And of course, it will be a great point of contemplation also for them. Also, Shashi, I know that you have been working closely with, or also you have worked with urban ecosystems. So, how do you envision, cities, in the next 20 years, considering a lot of folks are moving from, the rural parts of India to the urban parts, or a lot of things that are happening due to several factors, and then how will work environments change within them?
Right. So it's again that beautiful poetic justice wala circle.
Mm-hmm.
Urban environments are kind of very closed systems. In
Mm.
village atmosphere, we do not have a system called landfills.
Do not have a system called
Land- Landfills.
landfills. What is that?
Landfills are where we take all our kachra and dump and burn.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Correct.
See, the moment I put my kachra out, my dustbin out of my apartment, I don't
Yeah.
care what happens to it. Then
Yeah.
it goes to my society and dry and wet. It's their problem. The moment I put my dustbin there, close the door, it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the beauty of urban ecosystem that you don't get away with it. In rural spaces, everything and anything that is kachra is reused,
Yeah.
repurposed, refurbished,
Yeah.
redone. It all becomes khad in their farm, or the remains of food items become food for their cattle. Okay, and
Correct.
they do it all together, very beautiful, very organically. They don't even need our technology. But in the urban ecosystems, you have these elements that you can't run from.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you an example. A couple of days ago, I visited a temple in Goregaon. I visited a temple in uh, you know Dadar and other places. I discreetly don't want to take the name of the temples, but I'm trying to make a point here that there's so much as waste that is created in urban ecosystems that is gone away because I've closed my door off. Whereas that goes to these spaces. The flowers, the blouse pieces, the hair, the oil that we use in our temple spaces or in any other religious institution.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to that? So basically, urban ecosystems need regenerative economics,
Mm.
meaning nothing that enters the temple premises should go back to landfill.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest
Mm-hmm.
landfill that I've known, is the Deonar dumping yard, exactly opposite to my university, Tata Institute of Social Science.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a couple of years, जब वहाँ पे आग लगी थी, the
Mm-hmm.
entire zone, all of these people were affected.
Mm-hmm.
And we think we aren't. No. The workers that serve in your community as cooks and cleaners come from that neighborhood. So we are
Yeah.
all affected. We are
Yeah.
all part of that ecosystem, which we very conveniently turn a blind eye to. So
Yeah.
ecosystems may you have institutions like that. We have marriages happening, huge events happening, award ceremonies, cricket matches, all of these happening where? In urban ecosystems.
Yeah.
So what is happening to the leftovers? Somebody has to take responsibility for that.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
thank you. Thank you. That is eye-opening. Sometimes we are so busy in our lives, we feel that, whatever is going, it will not come back to us. But, there is a concept called as karma. So it's a collective karma that we all are creating. And we really have
yeah,
to
the
become
beauty of the
aware.
word Sagar is landfill. We are not
Yeah.
filling the land, we are only increasing its vertical, horizontal, and climate and environment related. The kind of carbon monoxide that's released, all of that is released in the air. It's there
Correct.
in the clouds, it will reach us one day or another.
Correct.
And
Correct.
somehow we think it's all done in ecosystems. It's not.
Yeah.
And we need to do something about it.
Yeah. So, do you have any references of any interesting work happening in this area? Any entrepreneurs who are, doing something to cater to this?
Yeah, I did work with an Andheri based lady who was taking care of a lot of dry and wet waste of the societies there, Andheri, Malad, and all those places. And she would make sure कि landfill में कम से कम जाए.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to work with her. I was able to create an ERP for her.
Mm-hmm.
So there you are, the question of technology.
Yeah.
ERP is enterprise resource planning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I am offering restorative and regenerative systems, technology that can capture this data. कि
Mm-hmm.
कितनी सोसाइटीज में क्या वेस्ट आप जनरेट कर रहे हो, हाउ मच यू आर
Mm-hmm.
टेकिंग, व्हाट यू आर डूइंग अबाउट इट, एंड हाउ मच इज गोइंग फॉर रिसाइकलिंग, हाउ मच फॉर अपसाइकलिंग, एंड वॉट एवर इज रिमेनिंग उसका आप क्या कर रहे हो. दिस
So
बिकॉज,
true.
yeah, because recycling has got to do with the material that is wasted and you know what to do with it. For example, in temples, you have this oil. Okay, आप उसको अपसाइकल कैसे करोगे? अपसाइकल आप करोगे when you turn the same oil, find somebody who can convert or translate that into a soap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or
Mm-hmm.
do something with the hair and create new wigs. That's upcycling. You
Mm-hmm.
use the waste and you create a new product.
Yes.
Recycling has got to do with the flowers that come.
Yeah.
आप उसको, you put it in a particular, in a can, or use a particular temperature, call people to fix things. Do not create smoke that creates pollution again in the urban environment, and
Mm-hmm.
then create khad, compost,
Yeah.
something that can be again sold to people, and that little material will also grow plants in various other nurseries, or I don't know, the community has, societies have these gardens. We have this Dada and Dadi Park or Nanani Park and all of these places. That's recycling, upcycling. So
Right.
basically, trying to reach out to all of these people, Sagar, who
Yeah.
can do this work and enable them with technology so that
Yeah.
आप जो भी काम कर रहे हो, you can document it and then upscale it immediately, and
Mm.
also make some advocacy and educate schools and colleges about it so that they understand कि landfill में कितना कम जाए, ये हमारे लिए अच्छा है. So basically, that's one way. And another way is regional economics, like I said, EPR and other things कि गवर्नमेंट जो भी बना रहा है कार्यक्रम, उसमें we participate and we create a monitoring and evaluation system. So
Yeah.
technology has become such an enabler now, and I want to compliment this for our generation, Sagar. Yeah,
Okay.
technology, the data analytics, whatever the AI, all of that, remote working, all of this that just now we have, we must make best use of it for social innovation.
So true, so true. Thank you, Shashi, for bringing in multiple, touching on multiple dimensions to address this very key aspect that we all, as humans, we have to, consider and take care. And I'm so glad that you are heading your life, or rather, you're devoting your life in that direction. Also, I have just a follow-up question there, that as you
Mm,
rightly said, that we have to use our existing technologies and innovation. And in fact, what I also realize is that this is happening because of innovative problem solving, right? Isn't it? AI has given us that freedom to, of course, leverage and find out, you know uh, find out more options for existing problems, or rather, at least we can consider a lot of
mm,
solutions. So when it comes to solving big global challenges like pollution or waste, how do you think work environments need to evolve to foster innovation and cross disciplinary solutions?
Yeah, when you say creating pollution, so basically, this element that when I told you about EPR, extended producer responsibility. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let's give an example of, say, hotel associations. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right now in Bombay, we have, I mean, from where I operate, it's Navi Mumbai Hotel Association. Then we
Yeah.
have Bombay Hotel Association. All right. So they have
Mm-hmm.
about 12,000, or put together about 22,000 hotels under them.
Mm-hmm.
So they produce certain amount of waste.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Food, coconut shells, dry and wet, whatever. Let's put them in that category. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They must, this burden of fixing waste should shift from
mm,
municipal corporations to them.
mm,
Okay, that's EPR, extended producer responsibility. That we'll pick up, but what will you do about it? You
mm,
need to, they need to segregate at source, okay? And whatever is recyclable, they must do that. So
mm,
basically, how easily we kind of conveniently have this getaway that the government will do it or somebody else will do it. No. So this burden should be shifted to communities.
mhm,
Basically, um, we call them PBOs. We call them um, uh, producers. We call them owners. We call them importers. We call
mhm,
them brand owners. Okay?
mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
We call them plastic waste generators, or we call them bulk waste generators because
Mhm,
they are making that kind of money, Sagar. So they need to be called out, and some kind of a government machinery has to go into it, which is going but needs a robust monitoring and evaluation. कि आप
mhm,
technology use करो, stand them responsible, and
mhm,
make them do this. For that, there is a call that you call people who are in that community. क्योंकि
mhm,
आप imagine करिए, there is an organization called SMS, okay?
mhm,
Sri Mukti Sangatana, okay, that has been working with lot with this, and they are basically a robust, very big organization working with waste collectors, women
mhm,
per se.
mhm,
But when you involve them, Sagar, into this community system as a collective, they
mhm,
know waste कहाँ generate होता है, कैसे करना है, क्या करना है. You
mhm,
involve them, you give them jobs. So
mhm,
that way, these conglomerates, जो बड़े बड़े corporations हैं, they return. This is a return of their investment. हमने invest किया इन पे. We all spend money in these restaurants, in these companies. They are supposed to pull these people back, pull us back into this, and they have to show some accountability. So
mm,
create jobs, make employment, make people accountable. So I know I'm sounding very utopian, but this is how it needs to work basically.
mhm,
This is
mhm,
the kind of work that has to happen, where you bring
mhm,
everybody together. Like आप religiously देखा जाए temples में काम हो रहा है. And I
mhm,
know for sure from my own experience, my ecopreneurs coming from churches are telling me how institution as religious institution as church is doing this work, how
mhm,
societies are doing the work, how colleges, universities are doing the work. इन सबको एक प्लेटफॉर्म में आना है to only understand that इस सिस्टम में जो भी है इसके रिस्पॉन्सिबल हम है. तो हमें
yeah.
लोगों को काम देना है, लोगों के साथ काम करना है, एंड वॉट एवर मनी वी आर अर्निंग वी ओ दैट बैक टू द सोसाइटी.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So true, so true. So you do not, mention that you sound something different. I think you're speaking with your heart, and I think that matters. What you feel for it, I think it is very important to put your point because even I have realized in whatever limited experiences I have in my life that uh, humanity is the only solution, and I think if actions are driven with a final intention to work for the humanity, yeah, not only for the current ecosystem but also for ecosystem, or I would say generations that will come in the next 200 300 years. I'm not even talking 500 years. So I think this becomes very very important with that larger mission and vision. uh, Now I would like to understand, when we talk about collective humanity, I think it is not only us, India or Asian countries, but also the entire globe is somewhere,
Yeah.
responsible to, build
Yes.
a collective future. So, in this more, let's say, I would say, connected, interconnected world, how important it is that how important will global collaboration be in shaping not only the work that you are doing, but otherwise the future of work, and how do you see different countries and industries working together on this?
Yeah, so could you ask me that question? I was about to kind of address that. There is something called, I mean, you know, United Nations, obviously, but we are all kind of governed, all countries are governed by SDGs,
Mm-hmm.
Sustainable Development Goals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
there are about 17 different Sustainability Development Goals,
Yeah.
SDGs. All right,
Yeah. Yeah.
so one of the goals I am working with is decent work and economic growth. Okay,
Okay.
that's an important goal for me. It is number 8 in SDG. So basically, all of these goals, all 17 goals, are attending to all humanity in all part of the world. It is got with work, poverty, food, water, pollution, irrigation, farmer, technology, work, all of it, all put together. DIE, you name it, and it's there. All right. So, if I have to give you an example of decent work and decent work and sustainable growth, economic growth, okay, under every SDG, there are about 7 to 8 key KPIs, key performance indicators. So, every eco inclusive, you asked me this question previously
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
any eco inclusive enterprise has to cater to at least 2 or 3 SDGs.
Yeah.
इसका मतलब when you cater to that, there are KPIs. That means there is some amount of metrics. एक metric होता है हर चीज को. In
Mm-hmm.
research and development, Sagar, I've learned over a period of time, is what you can't measure does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what you can't measure does not exist. Qualitative, quantitative, आपको measure करना पड़ेगा. That's where social impact comes from.
Yeah.
सोशल इम्पैक्ट को आपको मेजर करें. सोशल क्या है? पीपल, कम्युनिटी, इंस्टीट्यूशंस, एनवायरमेंट, ऑल ऑफ दिस. ओके,
Yeah.
ESG, environment, social governance. Okay, we're coming from there. So if you can't measure that, and how do you measure that? You measure once you understand that I belong to this SDG. When I say decent employment and sustainable growth, under that there are about 11 KPIs. I
Mm-hmm.
or my institution, my enterprise has to cater to those. Okay. So आप impact कैसे measure करते हो? There are many ways of doing it. One is monitoring and evaluation. One is outcome indicators. One is theory of change. There are many ways of doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
basically आप जो भी काम करते हो, that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be measured.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you start with an objective. आप क्या काम करते हो? What outputs you create?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of people you touch?
Mm-hmm.
Number, quantitatively and qualitatively. And then what outcomes you create. Output is basically something that you can measure in numbers. इतने वर्कशॉप्स किए, इतने हमने समझो स्विंग मशीन्स दिया, ऑल ऑफ इट. आपने स्विंग मशीन दिया एक महिलाओं के गट के लिए टू रन देयर बिजनेस. बट हाउ विल यू मेजर द इम्पैक्ट? ये स्विंग मशीन दिया महिलाओं के गट को, बट उन्होंने
Mm-hmm.
पैसा बनाया. बट क्या
Mm-hmm.
ये पैसों से ये बड़ी हुई? डिड दे ग्रो or they put that back into their family again and fell into that trap again? So you
Mm-hmm.
are ensuring that ये महिला गट की महिलाएं जिंदगी में आगे बढ़े. Let them have their savings account, their social security, their pension, their health insurance. Okay. If you want to empower a woman, you do this. Empowering a woman meaning you help her become agentic, give her power to use her money for her decision making. वो
Yeah.
अपनी जिंदगी को सुधारे, ठीक करे. But if you can't measure that, then you're going wrong somewhere. स्विंग मशीन देना अकेला जरूरी नहीं है. स्विंग मशीन जो पैसे बनाई, पैसे से क्या उन्होंने हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस खरीदा, क्या उन्होंने
Mm-hmm.
अपनी जिंदगी बेहतर करी? That
Mm-hmm.
is what needs to measure. So
Yeah.
social impact has to be quantifiable and, you know, quantifiable, qualitatively good. I would
Yeah.
like to quote one of my favorite welfare economists. You know, I really liked him very much, Amartya Sen. Okay, he speaks about abilities and capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Sagar, we call this as capability uh, method. We call it capability theory. The gentleman told us he got his Nobel for us, huh? The first economics Nobel, Professor
Yeah, yeah,
Tasmin. Yeah. So he explained कि ability हमारी होती है सागर, but
yeah.
capability जो होता है is hygiene factor. For me to
Hmm.
perform well, I need the office, the internet, the AC, my family, and all of this to function in optimum manner.
Yeah,
That will increase my ability. Otherwise, my
absolutely.
ability is of no use.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's why you also need ecosystems, right? And
Yes.
you are, let's say, either you are part of an ecosystem, or you must create an ecosystem. And I'm glad that you are in this sphere of building an ecosystem, not only for your own career or goals, or your own journey, but also for various beneficiaries. On that, I have a quick question on how
Yes.
can business of the future create ecosystems that does not benefit just the bottom line, but society and planet as well.
Yeah, somehow I've always understood that technology, social innovation, and future of work, very beautiful dynamic. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
future of work, if we have to be there, we need to use these as tools. So,
Hmm.
like I told you, technology, the AI part,
Hmm.
more importantly, just now, the
Hmm.
access to internet, the
Hmm.
access to technology, to computers, education has
Hmm.
grown so much, and this gig economy that we're all part of.
Hmm.
Okay, and
Hmm.
this is leading to freeing people out of this trap, that the trap of dependability. I know
Correct,
depend somewhere. तो हम सब ये फ्रीलांस कर सकते हैं. We can, for example, मैं told you about ERP, enterprise planning.
correct,
तो
correct,
लोगों को एक जगह बैठ के the technology provides you the system that you can sit down and control things, and
correct,
people who are very good, who can articulate better, and use technology, can come together. And more importantly, social innovation का efficiency बढ़ सकता है because of technology.
correct, correct.
बिकॉज़ सोसाइटी में जो इश्यूज़ हैं अबाउट एक्सेस, टेक्नोलॉजी, जेंडर, कास्ट, क्लास, ये जो समस्याएँ हैं, द टेक्नोलॉजी इज़ मेकिंग इट इक्वलाइज़. हम इक्वलाइज़ हो गए हैं अभी. सो
Hmm.
टेक्नोलॉजी एन इक्वलाइज़र,
Correct,
एंड वी नीड टू यूज़ दैट बट वेरी ethically, and integrate technology, AI, people, community, all of it in a manner that enables people and our system.
yeah,
बिकॉज़ पहले जैसा नहीं रहा सागर, कि एवरीथिंग इज़ टॉप डाउन. गवर्नमेंट बोलेगा आपको करना है, नो. अभी बॉटम्स अप है.
correct,
जो ज़मीन पे काम कर रहा है उसको मालूम है वो क्या कर रहा है. The access
yes,
to technology, the AI, this is the beauty of it. And I'm really very, very optimistic that given a chance and ethically executed, I think India and we as workforce have a very, very long way to go. Long haul, but we'll do well. And I am optimistic about that.
absolutely, absolutely. Beautifully articulated, Shashi. Thank you for giving your perspective there. uh, you know it is actually, and I feel that we work with teams, we build with people. Ecosystem has a lot many people from different layers of contribution, but ultimately it is that individual realization, or someone has to take it on their shoulders and contribute to change the world. So just to get your perspective here on whether folks who are starting their careers or are in between between two key decision between decision making, where to move, how do those individuals or professionals or leaders stay relevant and be empowered as the future of work continues to change so quickly. So what are your thoughts there?
Yeah. And now you invite the behavioral scientist that I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my introduction, I did not really mention that I am a trained individual and group psychoanalyst from London, UK, and that's where I like to bring my mind and heart together. So basically, ज्ञान ना sound करते हुए, I want to say there are two things, perception and perspective.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, and this one can look in a premises that is beautifully not diagrammatically opposite.
Yeah,
Okay, perception is individual, perspective is vantage point.
yeah,
So somehow finding a beautiful homeostasis in between.
yeah.
दिल चाहिए दिमाग चाहिए सागर पैशन चाहिए एम्बिशन चाहिए
Mm-hmm.
लॉजिक चाहिए रैशनल चाहिए this beauty of putting all of this ambivalence together is very important. Like I
Mm-hmm.
told you, entrepreneurs right now we want to look at it like that, but not everybody is jumping to it because I mean it's not hard. It is head Sagar to take risk, to start something new, to enable to be your own boss, to work around the chaos and
Mm.
create a chaos order. Order और chaos के बीच में chaos order होता है.
Mm-hmm.
An entrepreneur is that. And
Yeah,
that's a compliment to anybody and everybody who recognizes or identifies themselves in this kind of premises of being an entrepreneur.
mm-hmm.
So एक तरीके से ये डिफाइन हो सकता है but anybody and everybody who is working is an entrepreneur because that person is catering to a structure. But
Mm-hmm.
someone who creates a structure is a different entrepreneur. तो
Correct.
यहाँ पैसे मिल रहे हैं आप वक्त दे रहे हैं
Mm-hmm.
यहाँ वक्त दे रहे हैं पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं बट आप सोच रहे हैं कभी ना कभी पैसे आएगा
Correct. Correct.
and not sounding very melodramatic from this movie Three Idiots.
Yeah.
कि when you are so good, the money will follow you. You
When you're
create
so
good USPs. When you're
yeah,
so good, जब आप इतने अच्छे हो ना, पैसा पीछे आएगा.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
will
It's like
come.
if you go behind excellence, success will follow.
Will follow. Success, if you want to reduce that to money, success as reputation, success as, I don't know, what else?
Uh,
Money, esteem,
Fulfillment.
property fulfillment. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, whatever you want to call it. Because it's
yeah,
all relative, like time, even all success is relative. So
yeah,
basically, like not sounding कि मैं ज्ञान दे रही हूँ, but I'm telling you कि this this beauty that one needs to understand to take risks in life means something.
yeah, yeah,
So there is a beauty to uncertainty, there's a beauty to certainty. जब
yeah,
आप कुछ create कर रहे हो ना, like how even Amazon started
yeah, yeah,
garage,
yeah,
like how Airbnb started in a particular way. So we all start like that. So it's just
yeah,
that little fire inside us where it takes us. So there is no right or wrong. So as a behavioral scientist, I'll only say that the beauty is in the beauty is in the gray, in
yeah.
between, in the
So,
ambivalence, in the
so,
pursuit of happiness.
yeah,
Pursuit.
yeah. So, Shashi, before we end this conversation, I would like to get your insights on new opportunities that are, coming up in regenerative practices,
Yeah.
and and how do you see this working for people in industries that focus in sustainability?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll still stick to my social impact and social innovation. There
Yeah.
is a huge, huge potential for technology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would invite all technocrats to come into social economy, social innovation,
Mm-hmm.
and help and handhold all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Help us measure what we are doing, how we are doing, so that we can upscale. Because anything that has to sustain needs needs technology.
Yeah.
So I think technology there has to be a marriage in technology and social innovation.
Yeah.
So I would invite that this is the new opportunity, and not really taking a side of any political party or any gentleman. That right now it's the time that India and we as ecopreneurs, we as entrepreneurs, we're doing well. We just need some head, a little bit of part of head to our hearts, and the head is technology. So this is the new area that can we just find a convergence of
Mm-hmm.
technology and social innovation,
Yeah.
which can upscale so many businesses and we can solve so many problems put together
Yeah.
and we can take our country much forward. It's just that this gap between science and
Yeah.
social sciences is a science. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Psychology is science. Social impact is a science. Human beings are sciences. So bring this and this together. This
Yeah.
marriage is is potential. This is where we can just this is our runway, Saga, to take off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, Shashi, I suddenly remember one thing that I wanted to ask. Recently, I have had the privilege to, in
Yeah.
fact, collaborate with you and work
Yeah.
on developing, ecopreneurs and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So, I would love to know the impactful work you're doing there, and what is it that you're building, and anything that in the viewers, if they can contribute, or
Yeah.
how what best way to be aligned to that work that you're doing.
Yeah, my compliments to Sagar. He's always bringing the best out of me. I had totally forgotten about this. Thank you
Yeah.
for calling me out on this question. Very important, Sagar. Very important question. In a very teleological manner, हमें लगता है we have to do business here, there, everywhere.
Hmm.
But what we forget is an important stakeholder, our universities,
Hmm.
where we build our students, people who will take jobs later or who will build businesses.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
So these are the important spaces. So I have done work with Nirbana Niketan and building a cohort, an entire cohort,
Yeah.
working on social innovation, especially in circular economy. That's why I invited you, and you're very important capital for me for the next coming up. What do I say? Cohorts that
Yep.
I am planning in two or three other different universities. I'll use some description, not say the names just now, but
Hmm.
I am doing fine and. I always feel that creating cohorts is very important because
Hmm.
Sagar, I can't touch every single entrepreneur, okay,
Yeah.
or every single stakeholder. So what I have to do is I bring 20 people and I train them. They go back to their institutions and they create impacts. So I
Hmm.
feel touching them in those locations is more than enough for me. And this is one segment that I'm working really hard on because I want to touch this particular segment in a way that they multiply, they amplify the effect of the work I am doing. I
Hmm.
touch one ecopreneur and they employ green jobs, they bring stakeholders together, they create a business, and they come back to learn and they go back again.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
my business would be to enable them to increase their capabilities. So if I touch one person, I touch about 10 businesses.
Hmm.
So I am in a very romantic utopian fashion. If I have to define, I'm a romantic that way. I feel I can do this. I can touch 10, 15 people. I've touched about 1,500 people.
Wow.
So this is my this is the work in my pipeline just now.
Hmm.
Creating training workshops for women entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs who in circular economy, for sustainability and development.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I am creating content, creating training programs, certificate programs over 6 months. I am, yeah, this is in my pipeline. Yeah,
Wonderful.
I'm inspirational on that.
Wonderful. So truly are a social impact leader on multiple fronts. Thank you, Shashi, for giving your valuable time and sharing wonderful work that you're doing, bringing in your experiential learning and insights with the global community, not only for social leaders who enjoy, or rather are committed to the space that you are in. You also created value for people like people who are in their early career or mid career and are looking forward to various ways to contribute. And also you offered key insights for technology leaders and technology professionals to look at new areas where they can not only earn profit, but also look at serving and creating opportunities for people who are who are in their journey of improving or enhancing their lifestyle. So overall, it has been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you, Shashi, once again for joining in, and thank you for adding value. And before we end this conversation, if you have any closing thoughts for our viewers, feel free to do that.
Yeah, nothing really about closing because I don't think this is a closure. I think this is start of conversation.
So
This is
true.
start of. I always see everything as a runway. कि यहाँ से उड़ जाएंगे बस. So thank you, Sagar, and the story of you and me and our conversation go really much behind. And I've been, I've been honored that you've been part of my journey, and that even today you're part of it. And I am appreciative of all the support I got from you. And yeah, thank you very much again, Sagar. And what you can't measure does not exist.
Thank you for sharing that, and also for my viewers, thank you for turning up again and again and sharing and looking at wonderful conversations we have been doing for last over 1.5 years. We have now had leaders from around 80 countries, and we have built a community of 70 leaders who are from various domains. And we have also created a community of around 150 leaders here in India who are consistently engaging through virtual global leadership network. And I'll continue to do the good work that you are enabling me to do. So thank you, viewers.
Yeah.
It's your this is for you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sagar. My compliments.